Hello everybody, so today I will talk about calculus. The topic today is about differential equations. So now I will show you how to answer. We apply about variation of parameters. So I will divide this one into complementary solution and particular solution. So about this one, I will put about yc, that's about complementary solution in here. So I will put about e to the power of lambda s. So if I do first the derivative of this one, you got about lambda e to the power of lambda s. If we do first the derivative of this one, we keep about e to the power of lambda s. Later that we do first the derivative of lambda s, you got about lambda. Now we do second derivative of this one, and you got about lambda square e to the power of lambda s. Now after we got this one, we go back in here. Because this is about complementary solutions, this equation equals to number 0 in here. Now we just have only second and original. So we put this one go in here, and this one go in here. So we have lambda square e to the power of lambda s plus e to the power of lambda s equals to number 0. So we have e to the power of lambda s, e to the power of lambda s. We can do about factorization, and we got about lambda square plus 1. So we have this one equals to number 0. So I will put number 1 going here. So if we calculate about this one, we have two solutions. That's about lambda equals to I and lambda equals to negative I. This is about imaginary unit. So we have yc equal to c1 e to the power of lambda s. Now we have is. Because we change lambda into about this one in here. Similar for the next one, we have c number 2, that's about the constant number 2, e to the power of negative is. Now if we simplify, you can get like this. That's about sine s plus c number 2 cosine s. And now we go to particular solution. Now we need to use about variation of parameters in here. So we have y number 1, that's about sine s, y number 2, that's about cosine s from here. And now I will put about gs, that's about this one, and I will put about tanx. Next, we need to use about Wronskian. So we have w in here, and that should be about y number 1, y number 2. And we have the matrix in here. This is about determinant. So we have y1 we put in here, y2 we put in here. This is about first derivative of y1 this is about first derivative of y number 2. So y1 we have sin x, y2 we have cosine x. First derivative of sin x, you got about cosine x. First derivative of cosine x, you got about negative sin x. Now we do about the matrix. So sin x multiplied by negative sin x, you got about negative sin x squared. Because we go in this way, so we have the negative sign in here. Cosine x with cosine x, you got about cosine x squared. This one we have negative with negative. We can put like this. So this one, we know that this is about trigonometric identity, and that should be equals to number 1, and we have negative number 1 in here. Now we apply the formula. So this is about particular solution. So we have negative y number 1, and we have the integration y2, and we have 3x over the Wronskian between y1, y2, and we have the s in here. Next, we put about positive sign, and we have y2, and we have the integration y1, 3s, and we have Wronskian y1, y number 2, and we have the s in here. Now y1, we know that this is about sin s. We put sin s in here. y2, that's about cosine s. 3s is about tan s over Wronskian. We just calculate in here negative number 1. Now let's go to the second one. y2, that's about cosine s. y1, that's about sin s. 3s is about tan s over negative number 1 ds. Now we need to simplify, and we got the final answer in here. Negative with negative, you got about positive, so we have sin s. So cosine s, we know that tan s is about sin s over cosine s. So this one and this one, they cancel. You got about the integration of sin s ds. Now I will go to this one. Positive with negative, you got about negative in here, cosine s. This one, sin s with tan s, we change by sin s over cosine s. So sin s, we have sin s squared over cosine s. Now the integration of sin s in here, you got about negative cosine s. Now we go to this one. We can use about trigonometric identity. You got about 1 minus cosine s squared over cosine s. So one divided by cosine s, you got about secant of s. Cosine s squared divided by cosine s, you got about cosine s. the integration of secant of s. We have ln of the absolute value of secant of s plus tanx. This one we have sin s. After we calculate this one, we can get the final answer. yc, that is about this one in here. And yp, that is about this one we just calculate in here. This is the end. Thank you for watching.